Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-doodly-dum.
Little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more bang, a little less fun. A little less bang, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart, and baby, satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby.
Intellectual Froglegs is brought to you by you. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes investigates how a major network investigative news show can go 7 years without looking into a single Obama scandal.
And welcome to the Frogleg Minute. And in breaking news, Lindsey Graham surging at 0%. Details at 11. The New York Times had a piece the other day where they were defining today's modern man. And they said, today's modern man has no use for a gun, and he cries a lot. I wish I had a gun. And speaking of Ted Nugent, I'm kidding, I love Ted. Ted rocks. And I tell you one thing, there ain't no sugar in Ted's shoes. Hell no. Ted told a story about going to a Muslim bookstore. He says, I was walking through Chicago and saw a Muslim bookstore, so I decided to go in and check it out. And anyway, I got in there, and the clerk came up and asked me if he could help me. And so I asked him, do you have a copy of Donald Trump's book on immigration? And the clerk says, get out, and stay out. I said, yeah, that's the one. Do you have it in paperback? Are you seeing how our media is treating Dr. Ben Carson? It's absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And I challenge you to find a more remarkable story than Dr. Carson. The dude grew up in poverty in a single-parent home raised by his mom in a Detroit ghetto. And despite she had a Bible too, so that was the key. But despite these odds, he goes on to graduate from Yale. He becomes a world-renowned neurosurgeon. And today he's candidated for president of the United States. And the liberals that run our media, rather than hold this remarkable man up as an example to be emulated, not just by blacks, but by anybody, they call him an uppity nigger. But that's what they call all blacks who don't toe the Democrat Party line. Clarence Thomas, Alan West, Herman Cain, going down the line. See, they don't know how to behave like the NAACP. They know their place. Do not for 1 minute think that facts are going to slow down the climate change agenda. You had the president of the Sierra Club testifying before Senate the other day, pushing this climate change nonsense. But out of the blue, he was absolutely destroyed by a Ted Cruz missile.
18 years. Are you familiar with the phrase, the pause?
The answer is yes, and essentially we rest on our position.
And to what you said, you are familiar with the pause, so to what does the phrase, the pause, refer? I'm sorry, you said you were familiar with that term, so I asked to what does it refer?
Essentially, it's the slowing of global warming during the 40s, sir.
During the 40s?
No, I'm sorry, that answer is incorrect.
Is it not the term that global warming alarmists have used to explain the inconvenient truth, to use a phrase popularized by former Vice President Al Gore, that the satellite data over the last 18 years demonstrate no significant warming whatsoever? Global warming alarmists call that the pause because the computer models say there should be dramatic warming, and yet the actual satellites taking the measurement don't show any significant warming.
But Senator, 97% of the scientists concur and agree that there is global warming and anthropogenic impact with regards to
the problem with that statistic that gets cited a lot is it's based on one bogus study. And indeed, your response, I would point that your response is quite striking. I asked about the science and the evidence, the actual data. We have satellites. They're measuring temperature. That should be relevant. And your answer was, pay no attention to your lying eyes and the numbers that the satellites show. Instead, listen to the scientists who are receiving massive grants who tell us, do not debate the science.
Sir, this is one of the national pastimes in America, and while we're debating what 97% of scientists have already settled, the 3% that we, as they say, have invested in our industry,
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! This guy was reduced to nothing but repeating over and over his rehearsed answer, like he was pleading the fifth. He says, "Sir, we concur with the 97% scientific consensus," over and over.
Because the data demonstrate what you just said, that the Earth is cooking and warming is not backed up by the data.
We are concurring with 97% of the scientists that absolutely say the opposite, sir.
So if the data are contrary to your testimony, would the Sierra Club issue a retraction?
Sir, we concur with the 97% scientific consensus with regards to global warming.
I'd like to repeat, certainly in a moment, but I'd like to repeat the question and get an answer. If the data are contrary to your testimony, would the Sierra Club issue a retraction?
We concur with 97% of the scientists that believe that the anthropogenic impacts of mankind with regards to global warming.
So does that mean you're not willing to answer the question?
We concur with the evidence and the science 97%. You're asking me if we take the 3% over the 97%.
No, I'm actually not asking about a survey among scientists. I'm asking about the objective data, the numbers.
The scientists rely upon their objective data and their analysis, and 97% have concurred and conclude that global warming is indeed a fact.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald.
Of course, I'm a big fan of Ted Cruz. He's a conservative warrior, and I greatly admire Dr. Carson. But with all due respect, I am on board the Trump train. All aboard, baby.
Well, train, take me on out of this town.
But small government, big government?
I'm small government, and I'm very little regulation. You know, the regulations are killing. If you look at small businesses and big businesses, not even small, big businesses, but you look at businesses in this country, they are regulated to a point they can't even function anymore. No, I'm a small government person, but I do want to have a very, very strong military.
A lot of people just ask me, why are you doing this?
It's a question I do get, because I do. I have a wonderful thing. I have a great company. I built a great company, great family, because I want to make America great again. I see what's going wrong. I have wonderful energy. I'm blessed with good genes. My father was very old when he passed away. My mother was very old when she passed away. It's something that I want to do. I want to make America great again. That's my whole theme. And we can do it. And it's not even tough. When I straighten out the imbalances with China, with Japan, with Mexico, with Brazil, by the way, everybody, you're going to see things happen that will be really great. And I really enjoy doing it. The other thing, and I must tell you, I'm energized by the crowds. I go out to Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina and Tennessee the other day and Dallas and all of these places. I get thousands and thousands of people. It's like a love fest. So I really enjoy doing it, but we're going to make America great again.
Last thing.
I'm telling you, we as a nation are at a tipping point. Our government is so broken, not just a little. I mean, and it's become so poisoned by anti-American interests. Donald Trump's the only man for the job. We're like a free ATM for the world. So why are you sending those guys money? Well, they got money last year. Oh, okay. Sure. Donald Trump brings a skill set that I've never seen before in a politician. And maybe he's not conservative, but his plans for America absolutely are. His tax plan's going to be a jobs explosion. His immigration plan, building the wall, renegotiating our horrible trade agreements. And he wants to expand our rights under the Second Amendment. All of these positions are absolutely rooted in conservatism. And I don't care what label you put on somebody, what counts is what they do. And people tend to forget, first and foremost, the man is a world-class businessman. I mean, we're talking about a master of high-level management. He's like a gold medal winner in business. And he demands excellence. And Trump's ability to effectively delegate allows him to be multitasking on massive projects. And like putting Carl Icahn in charge of negotiations with China. He knows the job will be done. He doesn't have to keep checking on him, and he knows it'll be done right.
Repatriation, which to translate means that there's $2.2 trillion in profits that American companies have earned in Asia, South America, and Europe. Companies that are domiciled in this country, but make goods in another country, produce them and sell them there, nothing to do with the United States. That money is sitting there and the companies would bring it back. But it is completely, totally unfair, the companies say, and rightly so, that they have to pay a double tax. They make the widgets over there, they sell them over there. Why should they have to pay a double tax where no other country demands that from their companies? Except the United States. Our country is shooting itself in the foot because these companies are saying, well, we're not going to bring it back then.
See, this is what we need. You need a master manager up there in the executive chair. How else are you going to fix the VA? And maybe even more important is his media skills. He can make the media covering, and he can talk around them to the people. That's the craziest thing.
Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do.
Now, I started out thinking Trump was a joke. If you've watched the show, you know that I was telling people, pretend you're for Trump, that way we can pressure the GOP. Well, I'm going to tell you, I've changed my tune. I believe the man's sincere, and he clearly loves America. I mean, look, he's the oldest of the candidates. He's the wealthiest. But at the same time, he's out there working as hard or harder than any of them. And the man, you know what? The man tells the truth. It may come out clunky or socially insensitive, but you know he's telling the truth. How refreshing. Event after event, speech after speech, taking questions on the fly, never using a teleprompter. I'm telling you, I don't remember being so fired up about a candidate as I am for the Donald. I mean, true conservatives like myself have dreamt of having a businessman as president. Have we not? Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Please subscribe to the show alerts at the website, intellectualfroglegs.com. which is not the same as subscribing to YouTube or Vimeo. Now, Froglegs are free to watch, but they're not free to make, and you can only bag so many rhinos using S&H green stamps. Remember those? But all donations are greatly appreciated. This week's special, donate $100 or more, and you'll be listed in the credits as executive producer for the next 2 episodes. Donate $250 or more, and you'll be listed in the credits as a sponsor for the next 2 episodes, and you'll get a click ad on the website. Please share the show with everybody you can. I hope you'll come back for the next Intellectual Froglegs. God bless.
Oh,